यश्छन्दसां वृषभो विश्वरूपः छन्दोभ्योऽध्यमृतात् सम्बभूव समेन्द्रो मेधया आस्पृणोतु अमृतस्य देवधारणो भूयासम् शरीरं मे विचर्षणम् जिह्वा मे मधुमत्तमा कर्णाभ्यां भूरि विश्रुवम् ब्रह्मणः कोशोऽसि मेधया पिहितः श्रुतं मे गोपाय। Respected Dr. Bayaslav, Biloslav, respected Gupta ji, respected Professor Ward, the distinguished faculty of School of Management Sciences, distinguished guests in the audience, dear students and ladies and gentlemen, it's a great pleasure to come to School of Management Sciences. Once again, I was here some 4 years ago, and I see that in these 4 or 5 years, SMS seems to have made many more strides towards greater heights. Without getting much into formalities, but at the same time once more expressing much joy and best wishes to those who have put together this wonderful program, let me share, dear friends, some thoughts on spiritual perspectives of leadership. In simple terms, we have in human life various possibilities. We have the play of what in Indian tradition we call Prakriti. Prakriti is nature. A text like the Bhagavad Gita would say Prakriti is made of the 3 gunas, Sattva, Rajas and Tamas. And constantly in nature outside and in nature inside, these 3 forces, Sattva, Rajas and Tamas, are playing. At times we are very loving, caring, sensitive, understanding. We want everybody to be happy. Then Sattva is predominant. But never be too sure. In 2 minutes you could get very aggressive, very self-seeking, very demanding, and in gross or subtle form you might be seeking only selfish gratification. Then you are dominated by Rajas. And then another time, maybe in the same day, you could be utterly insensitive, lazy, not seeing things as they are at all. Tamas. So in this scenario, all over the world, where possibilities exist, various levels of consciousness exist, spiritual perspectives of leadership are about bringing ourselves to a higher level of consciousness. And in my short presentation, I will share with you some aspects of what this higher consciousness could be. Now, we have broadly here a leader in an organization, in an educational institution, or even in a little family could be addressing material goals, which are of course necessary. That's the bottom of the pyramid, and one could just remain with that. Then we would not call it anything to do with spirituality. One could go a bit higher, as the slide shows, and ensure that along with the pursuit of material goals, you also have justice. You have a great amount of fairness, as much as possible. If 100% justice, 100% fairness to everybody, every stakeholder is not possible, do maximum good to maximum people for maximum length of time, as one of the phrases goes. But then also we would not say you are spiritual yet, Therefore, on third level of this pyramid, I have attempted to show that there is the possibility, dear friends, of our ensuring or trying to have the inner growth of every individual. Like the author of a popular book of the 90s, The Road Less Traveled, the author is called Scott Peck. He mentions in context of love. What is love? He says, love is not just making each other happy. Love is to bring about the spiritual growth, inner development of each other. So in true love, at times we have to disagree with each other, we have to point out to each other where we are wrong, thereby ensuring inner growth. So you have the leader performing many functions. He or she provides direction, she provides the vision for changes of the place and initiates structures for production or whatever else is the business. But please note, if the leader has consideration for people, any organization has people, and if the leader is able to see the inside of people and considers their inner growth, then that would have something spiritual. Now, you have, if you see literature on leadership, many roles are described. They liaison with external constituencies, they troubleshoot, leaders will have to manage conflict, they coach team members, they do very many things. Again, they have many kinds of leaders. Some are experts in handling transactions, they are called transactional leaders. Some go a step further, transformational leaders. The first kind maintains status quo and runs things very well, whatever was given to their hands. The second transforms organization, people. Some leaders are charismatic, and mind you, everybody need not be charismatic. Some of the best leaders in the world were working behind the screen. They made great difference to their organization. Hardly anyone knew who it was. They would very rarely come out. Please don't take any of these as a must. There are very many kinds. In fact, spiritually we say be yourself. Don't have to pretend to be somebody else. You be yourself. Let the best in you come out, sir. Let the best in you come out, madam. Then you will be a good leader. And fourthly, leading without authority. There is a lot of literature I came across. I am not going to dwell much on this. But there is something called leading without authority. I guess that also has a great spiritual content in it. But I would like to touch upon, after making these general comments, how leaders take a team towards success, where they make everybody feel together everybody achieves more, is the expansion of the very word team, T-E-A-M. Together everybody achieves more. All that is fine. Now, leaders are also described as having a great awareness of their own emotions, others' emotions, and so on. But my focus here would be, I would draw from the wisdom tradition of our own India, our own spiritual tradition, and I will present before you a few points which touch upon spiritual leadership from an indirect point of view. First of all, the literature, Indian, Buddhist, Jain, Hindu, and India has been accommodating and absorbing world religions, as you know well. So I would extend them to other religions too. In various scriptures, you have a lot of sayings. I have here a famous saying from our good old books, Yatha Raja Tata Praja. Though these days in democracy they have reversed the saying, Yatha Praja Tata Raja. So as the citizen, so the leader. That's the new saying now. You know, as Abraham Lincoln in the West, was it Lincoln? Someone said, democracy is people of the people. My Guru Swami Chinmayananda used to add, it is on the people also. He used to add with wit and humor. So today apparently the followers also shape the leader, but the old saying went, as the leader, so the led. Otherwise in Bhagavad Gita it is said, yadyadacharati shrestah tattadeva itaro janah. As the leader does, others tend to follow. Somebody explained it with an analogy. The leader is like the very times to another leader. He himself or she herself would not be a good leader. A good leader has to have the desire to lead, identification, intelligence, self-confidence. In this slide I would like to just highlight, honesty and integrity could be a value that could border on spirituality. And then of course, job-related knowledge is good if one has. Now I come to the central theme of my presentation. I won't be very long. Please take my points as food for thought. I would be willing and ready to answer questions afterwards. I realize there are other distinguished speakers too. So now coming to the central theme, I wish to share with you how in a classical work, Valmiki Ramayana, which was perhaps written several thousands of years ago, we have excellent guidance on leadership. Here is a portion where 14 things that leaders should avoid have been given in the form of 3 shlokas. The first shloka itself goes, Nastikyam andratam krodam pramadam dirghasutratam adarshanam jnanavatam alasyam panchavrittitam. I have put half the shloka in this slide. Nastikyam, if you want to be a conscientious, good leader, you better double check you don't suffer from nastikya. Now nastikya, some of you may think is all about believing or not believing in God. Let's keep God outside SMS for the present. We are not talking of God here. Nastikya means in the present context, belief in the institution. You are heading an institution, suppose you don't believe in the values that are proclaimed, that are published of the institution. You do not believe in your team, you do not believe in yourself, then you are in for a great amount of living in contradiction. So, Nastikya is faith, the opposite is faith. Nastikya is when one lacks faith. So we say poor leader does not believe in his institution. So reverse it, a good leader fully believes. I head a good institution, and if there are some shortcomings, I am going to set them right very soon. My institution stands for something noble, something worthy, something meaningful. In this way, the good leader believes and then goes about taking the group or the organization to greater heights. Anrutam, again, Anrutam means falsehood. Here I am not trying to give a sermon on truth and falsehood. I would interpret it in the management context as having contradictions, showing something but doing something else in privacy would be anruta. Then one is a hypocrite. Then one is a liar. And such a person from a spiritual point of view cannot be a good leader. At the most, his glory will be short-lived. Very soon, found out or otherwise, he is going to spell disaster to his organization. Krodha. No spiritual book would say, don't get angry per se. Anger has its place. Anger has its own place, especially if you are made that way. Some of you have anger in you. And please don't look down at it as though it is sinful to get angry. No. Anger is fine. For the right cause, at the right place, in the right measure, anger is good. But then why is this mentioning krodha as a negative quality? Therefore we say destructive anger, immature emotional outbursts. So I have translated A wrong leader burns with anger. The right leader uses anger at the right place, moderately, and so on. Stephen Covey, a great writer on management, the author of 7 Habits of Highly Effective People, who passed away a year or so ago, used to describe how if you have wrong anger, you destroy relationships. And sometimes you may be victorious, but he uses a nice phrase, you stand victorious on the debris of ruined relationships. Is that what you want? Then you have pramada, being negligent, making wrong judgments. Then dirgha sutrata, procrastinating, doing things over several months what could have been done in a few weeks. These are all negative traits, and this looks like a presentation on psychology, but mind you, this is part of an advice that Prince Sri Ram gives to his younger brother Prince Bharat in the all-time classic Adi Kavya Valmiki Ramayana. The same set of 3 shlokas. In 3 shlokas you have 14 dosha. They are called Raja dosha. Those days, leaders were Rajas. Today, democracy. Today we have other kinds of leaders, and in corporate setting, you of course have managing directors, CEOs and officers, departmental heads, executives and whatnot. Otherwise, in the Ramayana, the word used is Rajadosha. At the end of these 3 shlokas, the line goes, Kachitvam varjayasyetan rajadoshans chaturdasha. Somewhere I slightly mispronounced and people thought I am a South Indian after all. They thought he's going to talk about 14 dosas. My mistake only. I said 14 dosa. Then, they thought, yeah, maybe. He's from Karnataka. Maybe he will tell us some new variety of dosa. Sorry. I don't know, even though, South, etc. I don't know even making good rice. Leave alone idli or dosa. We are here talking about Raja dosha. Defects, shortcomings, negative aspects of, wrong leaders. So here we take 2 more or 3 more, 6, 7, 8. Adarshanam jnanavatam. If you are a poor leader, for whatever reason, you will avoid experts. You will not consult right people. Maybe because they openly say where you are wrong and you don't like to hear that you are wrong. Adarshanam jnanavatam. And then alasyam, laziness. I don't have to explain it, how that can really damage good leadership. Panchavrattitam. This is an idiomatic expression. Pancha is 5. The 5 senses, eyes, ears, nose, tongue and skin, are the 5 indriyas. Gita would give them in a phrase. Shrotram chakshu sparshanancha rasanam ghranam. These are the 5 sense organs. Each of these wants pleasure, gratification. One of them is enough to derail us. If I have a weakness of tongue, that's called jihva chapalya, then I would just want to eat and drink. I come to a meeting, I wonder what's the menu. So I don't have to elaborate, nor do I claim I am free from that. We are all, no one is perfect. But if it is under reasonable control, no one is asking anybody to be an ascetic. That's impractical. Once more I should quote Scott Peck. He said, learn to delay gratification. You don't have to deny gratification. So, alasyam panchavrattitam. Panchavrattita is attachment to the 5 senses, meaning pleasures. Then comes next shloka, ekachintanam arthanam anartajnaischa mantranam Nishchitanam anarambam, and so on. Thinking about things all by oneself, avoiding consultation. And then anartajnaischa mantranam, this is worse, consulting wrong people. Now you may wonder, why would any leader consult a wrong person? Maybe the wrong person says what you want to hear. I must share with you how once I was speaking in some big city. I was new there. I gave a talk. While driving me home afterwards, my host said to me, Swamiji, you gave a good talk. I said, thank you. Then he said, Swamiji, you spoke exactly what we wanted to hear. This I don't know whether it was a compliment or a pulling the leg. You spoke what you wanted to hear. That's not very good, you know. I said, what do you mean, Gupta ji? The Professor Gupta was my host. He said, no, acha laga. We felt. Anyway, why would somebody avoid or go for wrong advisors? There are some sycophants, maybe because of that. So that's another negative. Now you have 11 and 12 out of the 14 that I want to present. Nishchitanam anarambam mantrasya aparirakshanam. You have decided in committees, in get-together, properly. Resolutions have been made, but you don't work on it. So in an idiom we say, one doesn't walk, one talk. In a meeting one has said, yes, this will be done, of course. By next fortnight it will be over. But later on, no progress on that. That speaks very ill of a leader. 12 is, spills the beans, doesn't keep any secret. Tells 20 people saying, don't tell anybody. This is how it happens. Once a guru in an ashram said to his 4 disciples, I am going away for one day, please observe silence. Whole day you must observe silence. And the 4 disciples who were sharing a room sat quietly. Up to about morning 10, they did not talk. The guru had said to them, Maun, silence whole day. At 10:30, one of them just forgot. Asked the other 3, hey, what's the time? The second one said, you spoke. Third one said, I did not speak. Fourth one said, I kept silent. All 4 of them. See, this jihva, this tongue of ours, on one hand has an irresistible urge to eat, drink. On the other, speak on and on. We speakers also have a weakness. I better now bring it to a graceful conclusion. In the last shloka, we have Mangaladya prayogancha pratyutthanancha sarvataha kachitvam varjayasyetan. I better pronounce properly. Raja doshans chaturdasha. Otherwise your mouth will water. Raja dosha. Dosa is a popular Indian eatable. Dosha means shortcomings of good leaders. So the 13 and 14, friends, says, a good leader, she does not, what's written there? Does not take steps of goodwill to build goodwill, earn goodwill of people. Mangala prayoga. Now in such a conference also, look at how much thought is given to the whole organization. So once this is a Mangala prayoga. Though, finally it is intellectual exchanges, but all this beautiful decor, beautiful setup, a good master of ceremonies, inviting people, those who welcoming us, whatever, this is called Mangala prayoga. And if someone ignores, that is all not important, we need to have good intellectual discussion, other things, frills let us remove. No. A good leader takes care of everything that goes towards making a particular enterprise a complete success. Lastly, pratyutthanam sarvataha, a poor leader takes too many things on her lap, then suffers miserably. A good leader knows how much she can handle. At a time takes 3 or 4 tasks, clear them, go to next ones, sequencing the operations properly. So you find a whole lot is said. This is just a summary. Nastikyam anritam krodam pramadam dirgha sutratam. The same have been summarized in a list. The 14 of them. 14 defects, Raja dosha. If you take care to avoid them, then you are a good Raja or a good Neta, good leader, good executive. And what I want to say by conclusion is, we have a whole lot of spiritual guidance which helps us rise from material considerations to ideas of fair and foul to ensure justice, and then further through a certain inner purification, through a certain consideration for others' well-being, through an enhanced human touch, through overcoming whole lot of human frailties, or in the simplest language, through being a good human being, you come to the pedestal, you come to the threshold, let me say, of spirituality. That is where spiritual perspectives open before you. The benefit is your overall satisfaction is far deeper than otherwise. Thank you very much.